afternoon, sir. Thank you for connecting me.
Yeah, sure. Raghav, can you tell me about yourself for a couple of minutes? What you're doing, what you're looking for?
I recently graduated with Master of Science in Material Science and Engineering from University of Texas Arlington.
Uh-huh.
And back in India, I did Bachelor of Technology in Mechanical Engineering, and I was very much fascinated with nanotechnology and making nanomaterials, coatings, different coatings, and when I came here, I was involved in cancer science. I got involved in cancer science research, making contrast agent for MRI machine so that the imaging will get better. And I was also doing Raman spectroscopy for detecting very low concentration chemicals in a
Mm-hmm.
liquid media. So ultimately, all this together made me realize I am not satisfied with only master studies. I
Mm-hmm.
want to go for more, PhD. But
Okay.
due to family circumstances and everyone already thought of coming here doing masters and jump to the job because of the paying loan money back and things like that. So right now I'm so much confused.
Okay.
Should I?
Okay, I understand now. Okay. So, did you already graduate or are you gonna graduate?
I graduated in last semester. Right now I'm a OPD.
So you graduated in what, December 2019 or May 2019?
December 2019.
December, okay. And how long your OPT is going to be there before you are will be out of status?
Right now I'm volunteering in under my professors here in the lab.
Mm-hmm.
So it will last. It can last till this year, December 2020.
Okay. Okay.
But I don't want to waste next semester more. I just want to make start on
Okay. Your next
coming
thing.
for.
Okay. So let me ask you, have you already applied for a PhD program or you are still thinking about that?
No, I already applied for PhD program in 4 universities.
Okay.
First, my here, University of Texas Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
I also meet a professor at UT Austin,
Uh-huh.
and two other universities were University of Houston and University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
Okay, okay, got it. Okay.
And
And what is your status of those applications?
so in my university, I got the admission
Uh-huh.
also, and I met the professor, and they say I'll get the assistantship for funding.
Mm-hmm.
And in University of Austin, I also met a professor over there, and he also said me I'm fine with getting assistantship and funding,
No, no, but
but
I'm asking you, which universities have you heard back with full admission and scholarship? Like Texas Arlington and what other university?
University of Austin only verbal communication. I
Okay.
didn't have any
Okay.
offer letter yet,
Got it. Okay.
and
So,
other two I'm waiting for
okay, I
the.
understand. So Raghav, I think I will tell you the exact situation, and many students are in the same ballpark these days, actually. Okay. So one thing I will definitely say, because of this the coronavirus thing, I'm not sure if the job scenario is great actually right now.
Yes,
Okay.
actually,
Yeah, go ahead.
um, I I went for an interview. I was applying for the jobs as well.
Uh-huh.
So I went for an interview and I got a job offer.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was kind of uh, they said me if you want to go further, we can go for third round for the interview. But I said I feel I don't want to go further. and
No,
then
no,
I
that's
moved
that.
myself
Yeah, yeah.
back.
That's your decision. I'm not talking about that. But what I'm saying is, you mentioned about that whether you want to do PhD or not. I think, in my opinion, I think this is the right time to go back to school and finish your PhD.
Okay.
Because I don't see the way the situation is right now. As of now, I would say that the job scenario is going to be very great, or you will hear back from any industry pretty soon. Most of the interviews are being delayed right now. And also, then there is a problem that comes with international student, as you said, right? OPT problem and all that.
Yes.
And also you have to make a decision very quickly, because if you're gonna start your PhD in August, you don't have much time anyway,
Yes.
right?
That's right.
So yeah,
Mhm.
so I think you have done right thing by applying to school and just wait for the admission letter. My feeling is that for a master student who is in US right now, for him the
Uh-huh.
chances of getting into a PhD program would be much easier this year. And the
Mhm.
reason I say so is because if there the travel restrictions stay a little bit longer, then a student from China or India won't be able to come.
Mhm.
And I think for in that case, your chances of getting into a good school or a good program is much higher. Only thing
Okay.
you have, what you said is, you have loans and all that, and this is
But
creating this is creating some sort of a issue in your brain. But in my opinion, I think depends on how much scholarship you get in your PhD. I think you can save little bit of money and start paying your loan little bit, but at the same time,
like
yeah,
exactly, yeah. I was also thinking about calculating all the
yeah,
parameters, and I
yeah,
was like thinking maybe 1 2 months, even
yeah,
like once in a 2 months, I can start little by little.
right, right. And also, I would say if your advisor allows you to do internship in summer, then you can pay much bigger money. So I think that can be managed. In my opinion, you should stick to your decision of doing PhD. This is
Okay,
the right thing
that's
to do. So don't worry too much about that should I go to a job or should I do a PhD. I think if you are motivated enough to go for a PhD program, do it right now. Don't waste your time. I have a question for many students. If they say I am not sure, that I can understand. But if you are sure, and you are, the
yes,
good
I am
thing,
sure.
yeah. So
Mhm.
please do it then, because
Okay.
I can tell you from my experience that the and I wrote an article on LinkedIn few years back on that if you are master students, it's a good thing to go for a PhD, because in the longer term the return of investment from your PhD is much higher as compared to masters.
Okay.
Hoping everything goes fine and and nothing goes wrong. But I would say even right now,
Mhm.
any person who is an international student, for him to do a PhD is the right decision, because there is a saying that whenever there is a time of crisis or unemployment or things like that, people go back to school actually, because once you finish your PhD, then you don't have to worry about the situation in US, because you never know how long this situation is going to last. But I'm pretty sure that by the time you graduate, the market will be much higher and you will have endless opportunities, much better opportunities. So in my opinion, if you get an admission at your university, or let's say Texas Austin for that matter, it's a much better school, go for it, okay?
Um, one, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, yeah,
Am
sure,
I
go.
see? Am I? Okay, can you see me?
No, no, I can't see you. Yeah, yeah, go
I
ahead.
I I mistakenly didn't put the. I didn't know that my camera
No, no,
is
that's fine.
off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. So I also wanted to know, like, so when I met the professor in UT Austin,
Uh-huh.
he said like I will be fine with my admission and all, but to get like to get I need to raise my GRE score. He said because
Yeah, yeah. So,
and
yeah, that's another thing I want to ask you. So, again, based on my experience, I can tell you. So, when I finished my master's, right? So I had a very good communication with a professor at Harvard, and he told me that, you are a best fit for this project, and I was almost sure that I will get admission, almost sure, because he told me about the project, he sent me the project information and everything, and that is the reason I was telling you, have you got admission yet? Because if you haven't got admission yet, the chances are as equal as you have
I
applied
might.
for yeah. So speaking to a professor for a school like Texas Austin or Harvard actually has no meaning, because I'm pretty sure these guys, they communicate with a lot of people. you
And they
know
forget.
it's not about forgetting, it's about let me tell you one thing. If you had a good GRE score, if you would have been your GRE score would have been fine, and this would not be having a problem, then it was okay. Because my feeling is, in a school like Texas Austin or Harvard or MIT, I think they take that very seriously.
Mhm.
Actually, I think the graduate school takes it very seriously. Maybe professor doesn't take it, so that your admission, your application won't move forward at all. Actually, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
anyway, they
it
don't
will.
have short of people anyway. They are not short of
Yes,
people, right? So
I.
my feeling is, in your case, you can just wait and watch, because things may change. As I said, if not many people are coming from India or China, then they'd have nothing. And I think this is the opportunity for actually many master students to get into a good school, in my opinion. So I think you have a good chance, because if they don't get a student, who's going to work then? Because every year you have, I don't know, let's say 20,000 or 10,000 engineering students come to US from India, and similar from China, and both of them are not coming. So who's going to do the work? So I think this year is very, very, very different, in my opinion. So you may have a chance. If
I'm not much worried about the GRE, but as per the talking with him, he said, I asked him like, when should I expect myself to be graduated, like approximately time, and he said like you have to become UT Austin material, and then it will be probably around like usually PhD students get graduated in 5 6 years and all.
yeah,
And
so
uh,
so
I
so
was like very much worried about I cannot waste 5 6 years more. Like if so, when I talked to my professor over here, he said like you have since you're already done with masters here, so you will be fine with 3 4 years.
so
So
so so let me tell you, it really depends on what you want to do in your life. So I will be very clear on that. I don't think it's a waste of time, in my opinion, if I look back.
okay,
Okay. The thing is that the most important thing in life is you want to do things right. Because here is the thing. Let's say if you go back and you say, I wish I could have done my bachelor's from IIT Bombay, let's say. If you would have waited for another year, if you get a chance to do that, I would do that. My point here is, if again, from my end, if I see back, I see all those as a good things. So having a good brand is always good in your CV. Nobody cares actually what you do, and especially it is important, especially for the first thing that you will get in your life. It will not matter later on. Okay, but for the first thing, so for example, right now everybody knows you from a master's students from Texas Arlington. Nobody cares where you did your bachelor's, right? It will be the same thing once you finish your PhD, especially if you want to join academics. Doing a PhD from top school is must. Let's say, if you're in your mind, if you're thinking, oh, I want to become a faculty member. If you're gonna do from Texas Arlington, my hope will be, forget about faculty job, forget that at all. Maybe in India or maybe somewhere you will get it, but it will be very, very difficult. But if you do your PhD from Texas Austin or Harvard or MIT, the